Hey, hello, my fellow property managers. Mark Cunningham with Grace Property Management. Normally we have these videos planned out well in advance. This one, we're sneaking something in here because of what's going on right now in the banking world. And yes, I would call it a banking crisis. Anytime you have Janet Yellen appearing before Congress saying that they're very likely going to raise the FDIC insurance limit to stop the run on banks, yeah, I'd kind of consider that a small grade crisis. And it's a big deal for you as a property manager and your owner clients, whether you know it or not. So I'm gonna take a few minutes and share some information about this. Now, before I do, I'm terrible about reminding people where I'm gonna be when I'm speaking. So I wanna let you know I'm gonna be speaking at the NARPM Broker Owner event, which is in Carlsbad, April 25th. Hope to see you there. I'm doing the closing keynote on why the next 5 years in property management are gonna be absolutely fabulous. I hope to see you there. If you haven't registered, jump on the narpmbrokerowner.org, register, and I'll see you next month in April in Carlsbad. Okay, so where were we here? Why you need to be concerned and care and what you need to know about this banking crisis. So just to give you a little bit of backstory here, and this stuff changes every day. It could totally be different by the time you watch this video in a few days here. But earlier this month, and I'm recording this at the very end of March, earlier this month, Silicon Valley Bank, the 16th largest bank in America, failed. They had a run on the bank. It's like what you heard about in the Depression, where people were lined up at the window to get their money out. They weren't lined up at the window, they were on their iPhones transferring their money out, and Silicon Valley Bank ran out of money. They had the money invested, but see, if they sold the investments, they'd have to sell it at the loss, so they couldn't come up with the money fast enough to fund all of the deposits that they were holding, because it's a fractional banking system is what we have, and it's boring, but it's actually kind of interesting. So they collapsed. They collapsed. Second largest bank failure in U.S. history. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Now, a little bit later, a few days later, First Republic Bank, they haven't collapsed yet. They're trying to save them. They're the 14th largest bank in America. That's happening. And these are regional banks. And the scary thing is, the Federal Reserve, the feds, the government, they're concerned that maybe this will cause a run on regional banks. People are pulling their money out of regional banks. They're taking it to the big behemoth banks. But the people that were invested in these banks, when the bank goes out of business, guess what? The money you put into the bank may poof, be gone. You thought you had money invested in the, not invested in the bank, saved in the bank, that may or may not be gone. You say, well, Mark, hold on. I remember reading something a long time ago about FDIC insurance, right? Don't we have FDIC insurance? Yes, we do. The government insures through FDIC insurance up to $250,000. Now, it's only $250,000. That means for these big companies that were invested in Silicon Valley Bank, had literally millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars in there, all they're going to get back is $250,000. Now, the federal government did come out a few days later and say, you know what, we're going to cover all of the money in there. Don't worry, it's all good. That's a big deal because that's not the way the rules are written, but they made that decision. So we do have FDIC insurance. We as property managers keep a lot of money in banks, don't we? You've got a trust account with your security deposits in it. You've got another trust account where when tenants pay rent, you deposit into that. You pay your vendors, you pay yourself, you pay your owners out of that. You've got your operating business account. FDIC insurance does extend up to $250,000, but this is the kicker. Your trust account must be properly set up as a proper trust account in order to have the $250,000 coverage on everybody within your trust account. You say, well, Mark, what are you talking about? Okay, let's pretend you have 100 owner clients that you manage for. You have 100 owner clients. And every one of those owner clients, you have money in your security deposit trust and money in the banking trust. And so when you have all this money in there, you have $300,000 of money the day the bank collapses. You say, well, Mark, banks are going to collapse. Well, my friends, they did in '08, right? 12, 13 years ago. A bunch of them did. And some of them are now, again. So suddenly this isn't just some fairy tale thing you read about in the history books about the Great Depression. This is happening before our very eyes. That's why we have to be concerned about this. So your 100 owner clients have $300,000 in your trust account. And suddenly that regional bank, poof, goes up in smoke. And you say, gosh, you go to the FDIC, and the FDIC insurance says, well, we're only going to give you $250,000 because your coverage is $250,000. You say, well, I had $300,000. Sorry, you only get $250,000. If you had the account set up properly as a trust account, now the $250,000 of coverage extends to every beneficiary in the account. So every one of those 100 owners would have $250,000 of coverage, which means you're probably fine. But it's only if you have it set up properly, my friends. And if I'm a betting man, which I kind of am, I'm going to bet 40% of you watching this video do not have your bank account set up as a proper trust account. Just because you have the word trust in the title doesn't mean it's a trust account. You have to fill out certain paperwork. The bank has to recognize it. They have to recognize the individual beneficiaries. Many banks and the banks don't understand it because we're a weird industry. Property management's a weird industry. At the end of this video, by the way, I'll tell you who I recommend you contact for your banking to make sure you have it set up properly. So at a minimum, you need to contact your bank immediately and say, hey, I'm a property management company. Do I have true trust accounting to where every beneficiary that I represent who has money, whether it's $1 or $1 million in there, they have coverage for $250,000 within my trust. So if that's the case, we've got over 1,000 doors we manage. We have a lot of money in our trust accounts. But every beneficiary, every owner client, if it's set up properly, and thank goodness ours is, has $250,000. So if our bank goes out of business, we're okay because we have that coverage. Now remember, you have a security deposit trust account as well. So that doesn't extend to the deposit account, but it's all under the same umbrella. So the beneficiary of your owner client is going to be the security deposit. It's going to be whatever escrow reserve you're holding for them as well, and you have to assign it. Their tax ID has to be assigned. It's up to you to prove the beneficiary dollar amounts, but you have to have it registered with the bank. And of course, you have your business operating account. Maybe you have a business savings account. So we, Grace Management, we have a business operating account. We have a business savings account. And sometimes those accounts might go above $250,000. Uh-oh, we're in trouble if that happens because the FDIC insurance only covers Mark and Grace Management for $250,000. Now you can talk to your bank. There's ways they can do sweep accounts and they can do different types of things to set that up. Or maybe you want to pull some of that out and put it in a treasury bill, put it at a different institution. But if you personally, your business operating account ever goes over $250,000, you may be in trouble because the coverage may not extend beyond that. Now, you say, Mark, you're scaring me. I'm terrified. Well, it's okay. Don't worry. Because here's what we did several years ago, and here's what I recommend you do to help take all of these troubles away. Enterprise Bank and Trust. Enterprise Bank and Trust is a national bank. They have a property management division that specializes in property management. That's all they do. They know property management trust accounting 100 times better than I do and 1,000,000 times better than some of you do. So what I recommend you do, and I know you probably can't reach this or can't read this, reach out to Enterprise Bank and Trust, jump on their website, or better yet, email Allison DiSarro, ADISARRO at enterprisebank.com. Give her a call, 619-988-6708. Say, hey, Allison, I watched Mark's video. I don't know if I have a trust account or not. Can you help me get this set up? They will set you up. Not only that, but they have an earnings credit that they pay you money to have they give you an earnings credit to pay your bills. They actually don't pay you money, but they have an earnings credit set up that they can help you. They're the experts in property management banking. There's no reason you should not be using an expert in trust accounting with all the crazy stuff going on. And there's a lot of other reasons to have a trust account properly set up as well to keep it protected from creditors against you and all this kind of stuff there. So, that's a lot of stuff, but it's important and it's timely right now. So if you have concerns, jump out to Enterprise Bank. Hey, do you want to spend 2 days with me and my team at my office in Denver? We would invite you to do so. We're offering that to small groups of folks. Jump on our website, pmbuild.com. Go to our events tab. Go to the Visit Grace. These are groups of 10 people. That's all it is. 10 people spending 2 days with me and my team. We're going to give you every doc, every form, every paper, every system manual we have. We're going to teach you everything we know about property management, which is a fair amount. Other than that, jump on pmbuild.com. You'll find videos, coaching information, whatever you need to help you build, grow, and protect your property management company. I'll see you back here in 2 weeks, my friends.